Hey, welcome into our Life Group Leaders Lounge here, where we talk about all things life groups and leadership and fun, and we're here to equip you and inspire you to be the best leader you can be. So for today's topic, group, well, first of all, I'll introduce myself. My name is Brooks. I work with the life groups and Tier Santa.
Braden, over at Scripps Ranch.
Raquel, OB.
Yes.
She thinks she's the best. Okay.
Yeah, OB, yeah.
Really love this place.
Dear Santa. So, hey, we're here, like we said, to talk about life group leadership topics. And today we're going to be kind of jumping into what does it mean to raise up a team within your life group. That's one of your 4 main responsibilities as a life group leader. So, what does that mean?
What does that mean? Like that? I'm like what? I don't even know, where to begin. I do know where to begin now, but when you first brought this topic up to me, I'm like, oh.
Yeah. A lot of people probably
I have to raise up a team with
Yeah, because I feel like you mentioned earlier, like a lot of times it kind of just happens by, natural, like, hey, just think about people in your group. What can you do? Well, in our case, we're talking about creating a leadership structure where you are empowering people to use the gifts that God has given them within your group for the benefit of your group.
So what I'm hearing you say is like basically everyone has an active role. Everyone is participants, not just in the conversation and stuff. I think the main thing that goes wrong with how we perceive group leaders is there's one person leading the group and you are all kind of attending, but but you're watching them do what they do and they're feeding you. But there's this aspect of group leadership, and this is what you're trying to bring to our attention. It's brilliant that everyone has an active role and you're helping them identify and cultivate that so that the whole group's dynamic is nurtured from that.
Yeah, for sure. And we know as leaders, and as a leader, that the more you use your gifts and talents, it stretches you and you grow as a person, as a Christian. And so that's what we want to do. We want to multiply that work in a life group. So you're sharing the load. You're not just thinking about right now, but you're also thinking about the long term for each of the lives of people in your group. How can I help them grow?
It's like a potluck of leadership.
Yeah,
not bringing
right.
food to the table, but like potluck of gifts to the table.
Absolutely. So let's just talk about some of the main roles in a life group, just real quick. So first one is you as a life group leader,
which surprised me. I'm like, wait, the leader is a role?
Yeah, absolutely, because there are specific responsibilities that you have as a life group leader. Or you may have like a co-leader that leads with you. That's always helpful to have a co-leader.
Yes.
So that's the first main role. Second main role is an apprentice. So basically what we mean is someone that has gifts and abilities that you think in the future could do what you're doing as leader.
So like Obi-Wan to Anakin Skywalker.
Absolutely.
Yes, okay.
Exactly. You could be a Padawan. Someone could be your Padawan, right?
Love it.
We're talking Star Wars language here, okay? So who's the Sith Lord in the situation? No Sith Lords, okay? So
that's for off camera.
Okay, yeah.
Wonderful.
All right. We can talk about that sometime. So an apprentice leader, someone that has ability that you could see in the future that may not be like you, right? They're probably not going to be like you, but you could see in them they have abilities to lead. So you could think that, okay, so apprentice leader, that's important. Another great role to have in your life group is someone that's a host, or if these are the kinds of people that they may be hosting the group.
A host home
Well, that's a good question. Maybe this person could be actually the host home where you have the group in, or someone that has like the gift of hospitality.
Yes.
Or two different.
Right. Yeah, they could be different people altogether.
It could overlap, because to kind of at least bring some clarity to how I perceive it, perhaps, is that a host is more of the person who is literally hosting the location most of the time, and that sometimes is the life group leader too, but sometimes it's not. And then someone who has like the gift of hospitality is someone who it's the people in your life who just you feel so comfortable around. And they bring this presence of peace and comfort to where everyone can be relaxed and authentic. And so when someone has that gift, and however they express it, by bringing cookies or just literally their presence, the gift of hospitality helps settle the room.
Yeah, for sure.
They're so approachable, these people, and charming.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you may see them get to your life group early, and they be like, hey, how can I help? And you're like, dude, that's great.
Those people.
Yeah, so those are the kinds of people you need in your group, and those are blessings to have them in your group. And then fourthly, another big role to have is someone that's like a service rep. And we're going to talk about that more in the future. What is a service rep supposed to be? But these people have a desire to care for people outside of your group.
That's true. That's a good distinction.
How can your group serve your community or your neighborhood that semester?
That's such a good distinction, and I want to make sure it's hit, because like a lot of us have that heart, more of a pastoral heart, if you will, to take care of one another in our group. This is the person who you're going to hear their comments. Wait, so as we study whatever, how's that going to affect how we're going to go help those outside of our walls? How's that going to affect those who are outside of our walls? When you hear that language, that's your service rep.
Absolutely.
That's
Sweet.
so perfect.
That is awesome. Yeah, so those are some of the main roles within a life group. And so, Raquel, why don't we do some like just next steps? How do we do
practically
this? How do we raise up a team?
How I kind of wrestled through this after you taught me, okay, this is this is one of my responsibilities as a life group leader. First step is identify. So know the members of your group and identify their strengths and weaknesses. Because sometimes I want to push one of my members into one of their weaknesses to grow that with their knowledge and consent, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not to make them uncomfortable, but I have a member in my group who says, I get really shy welcoming people, but asked, hey, I would like to be on the hospitality team who welcomes people into church because I want to stretch that in myself.
Cool.
So you as a leader being able to see that and identify it, and then the next step, hold on, no. Okay, make the ask.
Yes.
And why it took me, why I couldn't remember is because that one's hard for me as a leader. I don't always want to ask for help.
Yeah, for sure.
Military wife, I'm like, no. But I used to view it as asking for a favor. But in fact, it's the opposite. You're giving them a gift.
Yeah,
You're giving them this opportunity to give it away. Give it away. That's one of our values. And when I first heard give it away, I'm like, what are you talking about? Give it away? What? It sounds... It's a gift. You are giving away this gift.
Absolutely.
You're passing the baton.
Absolutely.
And so make the ask. Sometimes I have asked knowing of a gift of a member of mine. Hey, you're really great at this. What do you think about, helping in this way? Other times, honestly, I needed help. My husband, co-leader, is out of town. I'm like, can you help me send out these texts to remind people when we're meeting? Because I don't remember what day it is.
I love that because honestly, because you're sharing the responsibility, so it's not all on your shoulders. Because I mean, as a life group leader, you have your own life going on. You have a lot of stuff you're balancing. You're preparing for this lesson. You're trying to shepherd and care for your group. So if you're able to like multiply yourself or multiply the work of ministry, that's all about raising up leaders. That's all about like thinking beyond just the now, but like how can we multiply this awesome work that's happening? And it comes down to developing a leadership bench, developing leaders in your group.
Well, and part of cultivating a great experience, even at a life group, is people having more buy-in. And people have more buy-in when they have a role, and they know that. They get excited to have,
that's true.
Hey, you know what? People look to me for this gift I bring, and you're calling that out of them. Yeah. It's like what it says in 2 Timothy 1:6. Paul is saying to Timothy, his protege, his pod one, even though they would definitely not say that in the Bible. He says this, 2 Timothy 1:6. For this reason, I remind you, Timothy, to fan into flame the gift of God which is in you through the laying on of my hands. To fan into flame. Oh, see, what we're doing is we're not putting a flame into them. God puts that into them. Yeah. We're helping them. We're helping them bring it out. Yeah. We're giving them the environment to. We're giving them the opportunities to. And we are those people that are facilitating that experience.
I think it's like helping people discover what God has put in them, and then helping them cultivate that gift.
Yeah. Yes.
So they can use it to even a much greater degree of ministry success and blessings for people, for sure. Yeah. So, Raquel, the third thing that they can do to help raise up a team is to...
Make me ask. Oh, wait. Oh, no, I forget.
Create space.
Yes.
Create space. Yes.
I came up with these, but I don't always remember the exact. Okay, creating the space. That means not literal space. That means creating the space for allowing what to happen. This person isn't necessarily going to do it the way you painted in your mind. And you have to be okay with that. And if I'm, my group is my baby, right? I love this group. And so it's not always easy saying, okay, here, you take this for the evening.
It's true.
And they're not going to do everything the same way you do it, but there's a beauty in the way that they do it, and God's going to work in different ways. And you, as the leader, have to create that space and be okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels a little bit like a risk at times, right? Like you feel like if I give my...
Especially if you have a little like OCD control freak in yourself, like that's where you're going to
because no one can do it better than me.
As a leader.
Exactly. So I love that,
So
Raquel. You're creating a space for people to do things different than you do, but for them to step up and use their gifts and their talents to really bless other people.
Yeah.
Because people's leadership capacity can never expand if you don't give it opportunities to.
Yeah, that's true.
So people need even chances to, I don't want to call it fail, because that's a little harsh for this context of leadership.
Yeah.
But give people a chance to make trial and error. Give people a chance to express their gift even when they don't even know how to completely use their gift yet.
Absolutely.
Like when Carter lets me and Ryan do announcements on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
We fumble through it, and we're just professional.
So the last step is to provide feedback. We always want to provide great feedback to people.
Yes.
I know, like for me, I recently invited a guy named Chris, who's a wonderful guy, to lead our life group last week, and I see him as a apprentice leader who should be leading his own group sometime in the future. He just has the heart, he's got the gifting, and he wants to do it. And so I just said, hey, lead this group this week. And so he prepared. He spent all this time preparing. He did a wonderful job. And as he was sharing, I was just taking little notes of like, hey, you killed it at this, you did awesome at this, and then maybe here's some areas that you can grow in as a leader. And so after it was over, the next day, we set up a phone call, and then we just went over it. How do you think it went? What are some things you killed it at? What are things you think you did well in? How about some areas that you can grow in? And so he shared, I shared, and it was a great time to just process together. So feedback is vital to someone growing, developing their leadership skills.
It's like coaching.
It is coaching. Yeah. Absolutely, it is
Pouring
coaching.
into also.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So guys, thanks for joining us today. We're glad you're here. We talked all about raising up a team. We'll talk more in the subsequent weeks. If you want to learn more about developing as a leader, you could check out the link below. There's some great courses for you to check out, and we look forward to you joining us next week. Thanks so much.